What is cyberpsychosis? Well, let me tell you, something happens when you start adding metal and plastic to people. They start to change, and it isn't pretty. In the 2000s, we call this cyberpsychosis, a mental disease in which the addition of cybernetics causes an already unstable personality to fragment. At first, the victim begins to relate more to machines than to humans. Soon, he starts to ignore people, parents, friends, lovers. Eating, sleeping, all become less important. Finally, human interactions begin to irritate, culminating in a terrifying rage that consumes the victim entirely. So, how do I get cyberpsychosis? Every character in Cyberpunk has an empathy stat. This stat is a measure of how well the character relates to other people and is the basis of such skills such as leadership, lying, convincing, and romantic relationships. Likewise, every major cybernetic enhancement has a corresponding humanity cost, which is added together to get an overall humanity cost of all enhancements. Humanity costs are rated from very low to very high and correspond to the general effect of this enhancement will have on the human psyche. In addition, each option added to an enhancement has its additional point of value as well. For every 10 points of humanity cost, the character loses 1 point of empathy. Unequal values are rounded down. For example, say I added 4 new cybernetic devices for a total humanity cost of 36. I would lose 3 points of empathy. This can start to cost you. With empathy of 3, the character is something of a cold fish, emotionless and cold. With an empathy of 2, the character is chilly, foreboding, and distantly unpleasant to others. With an empathy of 1, the character is usually violent, sociopathic, and dangerous. And vicious. He must constantly fight to keep from going over the edge and committing irrational, violent acts of murder and mayhem. An act of empathy at an empathy rating of 0 or less, the character is fully in the grip of cyberpsychosis. He or she is driven by a maddening hatred of other humans or living things. At this point, there's no turning back. The character is taken over by the referee, who plays it as a non-player character with all the worst attributes of a murderous, mechanized psychopath, called a cyberpsycho. Not all cyberpsychos are a rampaging type. Many exhibit more subtle symptoms: compulsive lying, kleptomania, sadism, brutality, split personality, and extremely violent mood swings.